Good morning, good morning, good morning, motherfuckers. Oh, what? I could have swore I changed this. Bullshit. This loaded wrong all the way around. Don't you love it when that happens? Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's right. I'm taking application for a co-host. It changed it on that one, and not that's crazy as hell. Anyway, good morning. What's right? What's up? See the redneck. Uh, we are going to. I found a little footage today that. I mean, we all seen the footage where Armstrong supposedly steps off the fucking ladder. This is one small step for man and one giant step for mankind. Supposedly the first man on the moon, but there's somebody down there holding the camera. There's already footprints on the surface, and and then there's question of, was this recorded in a studio in San Diego? Blah blah blah. Whatever. Nah, 100% fake. And I've just found some more footage to go with it. They have claimed, as far as what I just discussed, the footprints and the other camera and all this other shit, that there was cameras on the bottom of the lunar deal and this shit and another. They come up with 10,000 bullshit excuses that might cover one part of what's going on, and but uh, leaves punches holes in something else. Um, and Yeah, all right, Nevin. Well, you got an invite to come anytime you want. Uh, like I said, that don't bug me, not there at all. But keep on. Um, do what you do. It's all good. And but anyway, fucking and it's of a spacewalk, and the whole thing just oh no, I've seen seen different videos. I mean, I've seen Buzz tell a preschooler that was all fake. We never went to the moon. You know, um, we went to the moon 50 years ago, but we were more superior and more advanced back then because we don't have the technology to go to the moon anymore. We lost it. Oh, and um, anyway, there's a link. More than welcome to come up. But no, Navin, you probably told the government about the moon landing. I reckon that's probably the way that went. But anyway, uh, turn the volume up on that one. Turn this down a little bit. I'm gonna play this reel a couple of times, and it's absolutely flat, 100% flat. You're an idiot if you believe that water can set on a fucking round ball, um, spinning 3,000 miles a fucking hour. You're a fucking idiot if you believe that. A stupid motherfucking idiot. Um, they tell you about the laws of physics and shit, and then go and tell you that everything in the universe, that our world completely defies all laws of physics. But anyway, here we go. And I know it's a shitty fucking uh, look, see at it. It is what it is. I can't make it no bigger. Uh, it's just it. Um, I may have to end up recording this motherfucker on the phone and putting it up here. But anyway, this dude outside the landing, one of the modules, doors open here, yada, yada, yada.
Actually, it's a link along that tether line you see there, 25 feet of umbilical cord. That contains the life support system and communications link from the spacecraft life support system out through that chest pack. And that radio command link actually it's a link along that tether line you see there, 25 feet of umbilical cord. That contains the life support system and communications link from the spacecraft life support system out through that chest pack. And that radio command link actually it's a link along that tether line you see there, 25 feet of umbilical cord. That contains the life support system and communications link from the spacecraft life support system out through that chest pack.
Oh, Navin, you are so naive. No, gravity does not overcome centrifugal force. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Magnetic field does not overcome centrifugal force. Absolutely not. If gravity overcame centrifugal force, then centrifugal force would not be a thing. You believe the earth is round. That is fucking... You believe that there's a basketball floating through fucking space with water on it that covers the entire surface of a round object at atmospheric pressure. And the space is a vacuum, and there's a positive pressure that exists within the vacuum of space. Oh, you don't know about the magnetic field of the earth? Wow, Navin. Anyway, that's pretty wild. Yeah, the magnetic field has a lot to do with shit and this and that and another in the way they explain it. So, but anyway, we're gonna watch this reel again, and you can see you don't actually see where they've got the astronaut's belt rig, but you can watch how he's using his supposed umbilical tether to adjust his positioning against the wires where he's hung on the movie stage by the belt. But most of that is coming from his legs, and you can see him being pulled from the waist and using that. And then check out the If there's only one guy doing a spacewalk, and who's filming the fucking thing, and how does the camera angle change? How do they have 4 or 5 different camera angles of supposedly the same shot when he's the only guy outside the capsule? He's the only guy there. And what's up, Beck? And so, what's up, Mr. Mitchell? But anyway, let's watch this again and keep that in mind. Like I said, here's one, and you can see what's supposed to be the Earth down here rotating. Why does it only show one? And I dig this too, because according to NASA and what they just showed you right here, they're telling you Earth is flat too. Because if you notice the little disc behind you that's supposed to be the Earth, the lights, the different cities or whatever, is rotating in the background behind you, round, in part of this. And according to on the video, it looks to be counterclockwise direction. Or that's supposed to be the moon in the background with all the city lights on it too. So, I mean, just one of the many, many, many questions. And but some motherfuckers question absolutely nothing. What's up, Huck? And some motherfuckers question absolutely everything. And but anyway, I'm gonna play this, and like I said, just pay a little more attention to I'm gonna mute it, and like I said, there's 3 or 4 different camera shots in this. The rotation of all this down here. And you can see he's supported there, and his legs are hanging down. Same thing. Now, how'd they get that camera shot? The whole spacecraft is in the whole deal. Oh, you're going to tell me it was from a different vessel? Well, the space station wasn't there at that time. Right, Huck? And if you watch, he'll use that umbilical. And like I said, you can see his hips are raised. You can tell he's being supported at his waist. See, now he uses that tether to pull back. And there's the Earth again, supposedly. So, well, on Avon thinks, they're all that in a bag of chips. And the thing about that bag of chips, well, whack, they just crumble. Well, Brandon, I believe the Earth has a higher probability of being flat than round. To think that the moon and the sun, for one, let's go back to the eclipse. When they say that the moon is tidally locked in orbit, a tidal lock to the Earth, which means the same side of the moon faces the Earth all the time because their rotations line up to where that one side looks at the moon the whole time. Well, that's impossible. literally. I know, Huck. In 1960, we were more advanced. We had black women doing the fucking math that a computer can't do. That's what it is. Um, no, Navin, all the goddamn lies. Look at this one video. They've got 5 different fucking vantage points of a fucking spacewalk. Or are you too goddamn ignorant to fucking pick up on that? No, Navin, you are. You walk in every room knowing everything, don't you, son? So, but anyway, no. You're one of them bow down bootlickers that fucking no. The government says it, so it's the truth. They would never lie to us. Just do what the government says because the government says so. And Obama done told you you're too stupid to make your own motherfucking choices. I mean, does that really make sense? Come on now. Are you really naive? That's what your name ought to be, naive. Um, but and they're showing you right there, according to NASA's own fake videos, that the Earth is fucking flat. There's no fact that we did it. That is a that's just excuse me, simply a claim that you and other people made. There's holes punched all in um, the footage of the supposed landing. I mean, how do you explain the mouse uh, running around in the video um, of the one? Navin, can you explain that there, young man, young lady, whatever the fuck you are? Don't know, care less. No. But let me see if I can find that video. Uh, all he can explain is the government told him that it happened. And thank God for pain relievers and fucking muscle relaxers. I didn't want to do that. Or did I? I probably did. Well, let's see if this one's it. Let me, here we go. This is one I'm talking about. If this ain't the particular video I'm looking for right yet, but I'm sure it'll come up.
Meanwhile, that second stage continuing to power Dragon into orbit.
I don't care what you say, that is a mouse.
That's going to continue to burn until 8 minutes and 44 seconds into flight. So a little over 2 minutes from now, we'll hear the call out Seco.
At 4:13.
Safety propulsion is still good.
Right there. Yeah. Looky there. So, nabbing. What about shit like that?
So how do you achieve?
Little boy. I'm waiting. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking for this particular video or a video, and if that helps. And of course, you go to looking for the.
A live feed was aired by news and government outlets showing SpaceX and NASA collaborating to launch two astronauts, Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley, into orbit to join the International Space Station. The launch finally took place at the Launch Complex 39A in Florida after a weather delay on May 27th, 3 days earlier. Many viewers noticed a small rodent crawling across the Merlin engine during the broadcast. While that sounds cute in itself, the moment this rodent made his live TV appearance was after the rocket carrying the two astronauts had achieved an altitude of 200 kilometers, which is approximately 124 miles high. And the craft was traveling 13,000 kilometers per hour, which is 8,000 miles an hour, or Mach 10. The rodent moving around on the engine metal was seemingly unaffected by the immense speed, air friction, extreme temperatures, or lack of oxygen. Saturday's footage leaves many clear-thinking scientists and physicists to question the validity of these claims in media productions. A mouse shouldn't be casually walking across the metal engine of a craft supposedly traveling at Mach 10 with no breathable air. Are these launches real? Tell us what you think. For this and other news, visit www.newjerusalemmedia.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Well, that one was to the point. Nice.
Saturday, May 30th, 2020, a live feed was aired by news and government outlets showing SpaceX and NASA collaborating to launch two astronauts, Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley, into orbit to join the International Space Station. The launch finally took place at the Launch Complex 39A in Florida after a weather delay on May 27th, 3 days earlier. Many viewers noticed a small rodent crawling across the Merlin.
And Nabin, I guess that you're one of them that thinks that everybody perished in the shuttle incident. What was that? 85. I got married in 96 now, so it'd have been a 87, 89, somewhere along in there. Fuck, I don't remember. Right? No, he, yeah, he, she, what, it, no. Um, so, uh, yeah, that's another link in the chain there. Like, oh, did it rain recently? It's raining somewhere all the time, dum dum. But you know, hey, Nabbit knows. Nabbit knows. That ought to be the fucking name of your channel there, Navin. Navin knows. That big old nose like Pinocchio on that motherfucker. I don't know. Probably the reason rattlesnakes use the entity of shells or Narc Narc Chick or To Die 2.0, you know, or the Pukums, you know, to, you know, blah, 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 blah. All of that. So, but anyway, but yeah, centrifugal force don't outdo gravity. Fucking, or gravity don't outdo it. Fucking, who's Kelsey? Anyway, she's probably related to Tanya though. So anyway, but yeah, because see, you can recreate um, in a box, in a vacuum sealed box, everything that they claim that the Earth is a round sphere. Um, you know, with X amount of liquid on the surface, um, in a vacuum, but yet in a positive airspace that's rotating at said velocities. Um, and even simulate gravity um, and the gravity of the Earth, its mass, and all of that. And um, you can't get water to stay on the entirety of the surface of that ball. It does not happen. Actually, you won't get water to stay on that ball any fucking where. Nowhere. But you take and get a plate or flat surface, you know, and take and put a bowl over the top of it with water in there. And as long as you keep that fucking bowl on top of that fucking plate, you can spin that motherfucker as fast as you want to. And that water might ride up on the side of the bowl and shit like that on the cap, but that water ain't going nowhere. It's gonna stay there. And then when it stops spinning, that water does what? What does water do? That's right. Water finds its level. It finds its level. That's the reason we use water and air bubbles to level shit to make sure it is flat. And you know, that was the first hang on a second. Oh shit. Oh. What the hell, damn it. Son of a bitch. Oh, fuck. Centripetal, whatever. The centripetal force, what does that have to do with it? You picked up a big word there. I'm surprised you knew what it meant. And I'll just go over here to read the. Give me a minute, get it typed in here. If I'm not mistaken, that's just a simple math equation that has to do with a path of a spirit object. But hold on, let me see. All right, here we go. What is centrifugal force in simple words? The force on an object on a circular path that keeps the objects moving on the path. It's always directed towards the center, and its magnitude is constant based on the mass of the object, its tangential velocity, and the distance of the object radius from the center of the circular path. They said that was the definition in layman's terms. And then here you got centripetal and the difference between okay. So opposite acting forces, more or less. And not 100% alive. So, well, by that statement there, Lotus, electricity don't exist. It's a theory. This existence that, by all appearance, that supposedly we share on the same plane and timeline and all of that is a theory. But no, Navin's ignorance are trying to use the well, how they put. I don't even remember. I always had a hard time pronouncing that. Centripetal force against centrifugal force. It's just like if remember the old merry-go-round. There were some wonderful fucking laboratories, and God knows I love good laboratories. You get right in the center of that motherfucker, and if you standing just right, you're not really thrown out. And if anything, you're kind of hugged into it. So, but it don't counteract fucking centrifugal force. And anyway, Navin, yeah, that's a fucking uphill argument for you in a big way. And one that I don't have the ignorance to drop down to sort it out with you. I mean, fucking, if you can't see them, anyway, yeah. Density and buoyancy, yeah. Well, most of well, according to science and what they have said, the laws of physics are, um, and all of this other shit. Um, Science is doing shit that can't happen by the laws of physics. What they claim are the laws of physics, the Earth cannot be round. Ain't no how, ain't no way. Oh, I ain't fucking. No, I'm having a better day. It's raining off and on here. I got a bunch of shit I need to do. A dislocated Teflon kneecap. Uh, and if anything, this area helps me uh, forget about some of the pain for a bit. Because this shit hurts. Uh, well, who's it's Newton's first of all. Um, so you're claiming another man's smarter than you, Navin? Wow. And you're basing technology of uh, almost dark ages and back when they still believed in the Roman gods and all that shit. Now you're holding uh, Newton's first law up and saying that it's absolute. Wow. And technically, 99% of science is a shit ton of theory with experiments that are done, and every experiment, or 99% of all experiments, I will say, are done with the intention of proving or disproving uh, one's ideas or another statement. Um, and in experimentals, uh, and just because one finds a certain set of parameters that cause A and B to act in C and give support to their theory that A plus B equals C, and that tends to show it, does not mean that it proves it when it comes to science. Like I said, um, refrigeration, air conditioning is a theory. Electricity is a fucking theory. So, was very smarter than me for sure. Yep. So, I don't doubt that at all. I got a feeling my tennis shoes are smarter than you. So, um, but everybody knows you like try to argue and instigate there and having, and that's cool. Do your thing. I don't give a shit. Um, I mean, most bitches like to argue and try to be right, but hey, it is what it is. I'm open minded to being wrong. Um, so, but yeah, I question everything. So, well, probably not enough of everything, but I try. I try to do better. I've tried to do better today than I did yesterday. How's that? So, um, so, but anyway, yeah. I mean, why so many uh, contradictions? Uh, when it comes to space and if we've been there and what actually happened and all these fake moon landings and blah blah blah. Why does that contradict? I mean, and how is it that there is so much questionable evidence of shit that nobody ever fucking addresses, just like the mouses. And they come up with some bullshit little deal. Well, this is what happened. That's it. And we said it. That settles it, and you're done. Game over. That's just the way it is. And but yet they don't. Like I said, they punch holes and shit when they do that. So does that really work? I mean, when the Bible does that, because the Bible is just as contradictory as the moon landing, right? The way it is, right? Exactly. Well, they claim on that when they're Buddhists, and that there was a camera on the outside of the lander, and that the other astronaut that went up with Aldrin actually had got off of the lander first to take the picture of the first step on the moon, and so they're okay with teaching lies in school then, even on that one deal right there. Who took the picture of the lander landing on the moon? How did the footprints get on the moon that nobody was supposed to have ever been on before? And why would you teach a complete history that was 1,000% a lie and tell everybody that you were the first one on the moon? And why would you take that title knowing that it was all a lie, that it was that the other guy stepped on the moon first, his footprint was there first, and he took the picture of you stepping on the moon, but you saying that you the first one to stand on the moon. So either or, we got them in one lie already. Now let's talk about this tidal lock. Okay, they say the moon is rotating around the earth, and the earth orbits the sun. But the moon, although it's going around the earth, but it spins in the timely direction and speed 1,000% perfectly that we only see one plane, one side of the moon. Oh, yeah, I know Buzz admitted it was a lie. He's done it several times. And I just think it's funny that people like Nevin and everything else, they just go along with, well, that's what we was taught, so that's the way it is. The government says this is the way it is, so that's the way it is. A mirror reflector placed on the moon. Well, so you make a lot of assumptions. And how's there a mirror reflector on there? We hadn't been back since the 60s. Lasers wasn't, all that then. Or maybe they was, but if that's the case, well, now, let's talk about this last eclipse. Okay, I've got footage of it and all that. Well, my footage did kind of suck compared to a lot of them, but that's what it is. Hell, I just used the phone and weld lenses. Anyway, yeah, he did. He said it more than once. he told a little kindergarten girl. She asked him about it, and he's like, "We never went to the fucking moon. We never went." If I'm not mistaken, he has said it on with the redheaded guy. One of the late night talk show hosts. But yeah, it's on record more than once that Buzz Aldrin said that it was bullshit and we never went. But see, Navin, go ahead and go worship at the altar of the government some more. But anyway, fucking it is impossible for the moon to face the earth in one particular, in a fixed orientation while it is spinning. It's impossible. And then back to the eclipse. Thousands and thousands of years, the sun and the moon rise in the east, set in the west. Correct. And then one day out of every several 100,000 years or whatever it is, all of a sudden the moon, even though we're tidally locked and it's looking at us from the same direction the whole time, all of a sudden we're looking, I guess, at the dark side of the moon, being how the moon does not show up in the sky the entire day, but yet it comes out of the southwest and travels on a northeast trajectory, blocking out the sun. But yet, when it blocks out the sun, and it does come from the south western direction on the sun, but yet when the eclipse starts, when it comes out of totality, the first beam of light comes off of the what would have been to me the northwest side of the sun, which means that it was being pulled back down southeast. But anyway, how the fuck does it go from the southwest to the northeast? How does the moon all of a sudden one day, its entire alignment to all the fuck to the solar system, to its daily timing, and everything else? And how is it that we didn't see the moon in the sky with the sun before it happened? As all we seen was a dark, maybe it's the dark planet that the mind spoke of. Petrified wood from Earth. Oh, Navin, good God. Well, I mean, they claim that the moon, I ain't gonna say, that the light from the moon is a reflection of the light off of the sun. Okay, that basically it's a mirror, as y'all say there. Some say that it is illuminates on its own. I've heard some say that it is like a glow in the dark sticker or whatever. You get enough photogenic charge or whatever. Well, and Lotus, if the moon is just a lesser luminance than the sun, they're just bright bulbs. Well, when the two align, shouldn't it make a brighter light instead of turned off the light? Yeah. And when did the moon all of a sudden, just after now eons, I mean, is just the moon's vacation? Goes up, goes to the beach and lays out in the sun. Is that what? Is that where it recharges? I have no idea what the quote is on that stone, but I know uh, NASA, when you chase it all the way back to the um, Hebrew and Arabic languages, means lie, deception, or the deceiver. Navin, keep making your claims. We've all seen that ain't that ain't what it is. He specifically says we did not land on the moon. We never went. So, yep, you're right. You will fall for anything, Nevin. Psalms 19:1. Man, I feel like shit. Both day and night he scanned the sky, and what he saw was immense array of stars, the sun and the moon taught him to worship the Creator. There's one. That's King. Here's King James, supposedly. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. And them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the end of it. Now, circuit is anyway. Remember that. Circuit unto its end. And there is nothing hid from the heat. Therefore, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right. Rejoice, the heart, Lord. No. Anyway, yeah. Oh, Navin. Everything. Navin. So, what does the government lying? Yeah. Referring to another clip. Yeah, sure, Navin. Well, you got some bullshit answers from anyway. Navin, you are anyway. Yeah. Navin's worse than me about just liking to argue, and I guess he likes to, try to trigger folk or something. Um, and I don't know. I'm not one. I don't trigger so easy. Um, Navin, you're just an idiot most of the time. So. But Navin, I guess we'll see your clips or whatever of, um, you know, just proving that the moon landing happened and explaining everything away. Plain and simple, Navin. Back to my first little clip that started all this. Explain how they have 8 different fucking views of a man spacewalking in space. You can see where he's tethered at the hips and by the umbilical line that supposedly got all of his communication, life support, and all this other bullshit running through it. And it's not even a half inch in diameter. I mean, let's just talk about that. Let's talk about the mouse running around on the booster rocket. No. Funny thing happened on the way to the moon today. Well, let me see if I'm guessing that's on YouTube. A funny thing happened on the way to the moon today. Well, let's see. Well, I guess we can. Let's see. This is for reactionary and video of educational purposes. For sure. I am told that I have to be like this. When I do one of these, this is a 45-minute deal, and it starts out with which one are we talking about? We got one from 3 years ago, one from 14 years ago. So which one are we talking about there? Well, which one? From Krishna Tube, from MT Open Course Wave. I got a feeling you're talking about this one here. This first one. The 14-year. It's all okay. Well, let's take a look. We'll see what she say.
The following content is provided under a Creative Commons license. Your support will help MIT OpenCourseWare continue to offer high-quality educational resources for free. To make a donation or view additional materials from hundreds of MIT courses, visit MIT OpenCourseWare at ocw.mit.edu.
Some funny things happened on the way to the moon as a takeoff of funny things happened on the way to the forum. And probably not too many people in this audience know that. Also, in particular thing that's happening this year is the 40th anniversary of the lunar landing.
That's not it.
And we're going to talk a little bit about how MIT got involved.
We'll try this one.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever.
It does look like it.
Since the beginning of recorded history, the human race has been at war. First with members of their own family, then their fellow countrymen, and finally nations at large. Yet perhaps the starting ground for all these conflicts lays somewhere deeper, within the very character of the human condition, in the dark, untouchable crevices of the human heart. It is said that the first iniquity of free will began even before the maiden pilgrimage from the embryo, preceding the very creation of the earth itself, in the forelife of souls in the heavenly realms. The dawn of warfare, some believe, was initiated by a fallen angel whose trespass against God was pride. In ancient Babylonia, in an age so long ago that the exact millennium remains in question, the Tower of Babel began construction. It was to be the single greatest achievement.
And I'm told that now, and that this is for educational, entertainment, and knowledge purposes, that the reactions to such things, that I have to be cammed up, which I don't mind being cammed up. But, anyway, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit too. I'm sorry, and just get I doubt you're gonna listen to all of this, but anyway, I'm speeding it up and getting a little bit of a feel of it. But I think this is probably one.
A tower so tall that its summit would reach the heavens, and by it prove to the world that their race was superior. It would be God's irony that it would never be finished. Time passed, nations fell, a machine age emerged, and once again the ingenuity of a species which held dominion over all others unveiled what was at the time the most monumental accomplishment ever imagined, the largest machine yet constructed. An automation so mammoth and so revered, even before its first demonstration, that its only befitting name was Titanic. On April 10th, 1912, it set sail. It was boasted to be the ship that God himself could not sink. It would be God's irony that the very element that was meant to keep it afloat
God himself can't sink this vessel. Whoops.
Would cause it to sink. Water, frozen water, in the form of an iceberg. Not even one voyage did it complete. And then the next age embarked into the annals of human history. Perhaps the last age, the space age. Competition for victor was unparalleled. Powerful nations spent billions in unabashed rivalry to outdo the other. The Soviet Union launched the first orbiting satellite, the first animal, the first man. They had logged 500% more hours in space than the United States. And in June of 1969, they launched an unmanned probe to the moon to retrieve the first soil sample from another world, just 1 month before Apollo 11. That's how close the race was. Had their unmanned probe not crash-landed into the lunar surface, the first moon rock brought back to Earth would have been by the Soviet Union. Richard Nixon...
Nah. We just hit it. That right there. Political bullshit. Can't let the Soviets. Can't have the Soviets beating us nowhere. Them damn commie bastards. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a crook. Anyway. Yeah. Coriolis effect. I've heard of that one. I'm not. Um, eh. That let's see that. Oh, yeah. At what point does east meet west? They're nothing. But yeah, see, they bring in little high dollar things like the Coriolis effect. Here's one from 2 years ago from the University of California. Technology issues and human space flight. Nah, I say it kind of started before JFK, but yeah, some he was a big driving force in it for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. Debunking Apollo 11 fake window cutout claim. Like I said, I've seen one after another of some of this shit, and well, most of the terms I have heard and are have a basic understanding or slight, whatever you want to call it. Well, here's another one. It might be then. Lodius. See what we can get out of it.
I love history, and I also love aviation. And like Steve, I started out young. My initial flights were in gliders, so I was taking off without an engine and landing without an engine, and it really actually made a huge difference in my aviation career. I was fortunate to spend 26 years in the Navy, most of which was in flying billets. And I love this quote: "The machine, which at first blush seems a means of isolating man from the great problems of nature, actually plunges him more deeply into them. As with the peasant, so for the pilot, dawn and twilight become events of consequence." Anton de Saint-Exupéry was a pilot in the post-World War I era who flew mail routes in Europe, Africa, and South America. And he wrote several books. Probably the most famous one was The Little Prince. but he also wrote 2 books on flying, wind, sand, and stars, and night flight. And this is a quote from him. Now, I'm sorry about the gender bias, but obviously women do as much as men do in aviation. So what I wanted to kind of just initially talk about, what is it that gets us in trouble in space? Basically, it comes from within and from without. Those things that come from within are the medical and surgical events that can result from things that just occur either from disease states or sometimes from hereditary states or just bad luck. But the real threats that we face are the extrinsic threats, which I like to break down into 3 broad categories. The environment of space, which includes the vacuum of space and microgravity and radiation, the vehicle environment. Because we cannot survive for more than several seconds in the absence of pressure, we are totally dependent on life support systems to provide pressure, oxygen, thermal control, and all those things that we take for granted living here on Earth. And then the things that we impose on the crew, such as shift schedule changes, workload, etc. I wanted to add this chart, even though it seems somewhat of an eye chart, because this is a great.
Anyway, bunch of shit out there that just, like I said, I'm not making claims either direction. Is the earth flat? I don't know. I think probably more so than round. Is it round? I doubt it, but it could be. Initially, they started teaching the earth was round. What was that, 1992? I was in 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue. And got butt fucked on the beach. And he said, "Oh my God, ain't that neat?" Anyway. So,
reference, if you truly are interested in things that happen in space, this was compiled after the Columbia mishap, which I was a part of the investigation, the spacecraft survival investigation part. And what we did was we cataloged all of the events that have happened in space or analog environments that we could learn from in space. The red dots, the red boxes are loss of crew. The orange ones are injuries, significant injuries. The yellow ones are mission events that affect the mission, and then the white ones are just other things that happen. The point about this chart is that virtually every phase of spaceflight has associated risk and has had events. And many people, even at NASA, don't realize how many close calls we've had. This link at the bottom here, when you get the handout, you can actually click on that. And the new version of this at NASA is if you click on each of these boxes, it pops up other documents and more useful information. And if you're interested in more detail, this is something I spent pretty much my latter part of my career on, is crew survival and escape systems. So this is just an overview of all the bad things that have happened. The high energy transition of launch and ascent and the thermal energy transition of reentry and landing are in large part why all the fatalities to date have occurred either on launch and ascent or reentry and landing. But the real risk, as we'll get into shortly, is the on-orbit phase, because that's where we will spend longer and longer times, particularly as we go into space activities.
I wish I could blow this up. That's right here. Huh. It's kind of funny. They chose reflective surface. And if the moon is really reflected, then there's a lot to what, I haven't been able to see it clearly in a long time because of shitty eyesight, but that it's a reflection of the land masses on Earth now, what the moon is showing us in the dark spot. But notice they show the rotation. It just strikes me as funny that they show the rotation here. I can't really see what this green to red there, but apparently they're landing in here. Anyway, just the way it comes in. They come in rotation like that. And drop in there, drop back out there. Can't land up here for some reason. Apparently that's where the peace treaty was at. Now, you're coming out that way, you ain't. But anyway, just one of them things I find odd. So, but what about hurricanes, Navin? What about them? I'm not. I don't believe that. I don't think it. I know what you're talking about. Even the toilet flushing, right and left. Gravity explains that. No. Well, you know what? Nah. Gravity would explain that on a global deal. Fucking. Well, no, that is a Lotus. They say, "Oh my God," but no, that's another good point. Well, let's look at what pilots say about the Earth and its symmetrics and the altimeter. Anybody know what an altimeter is? You know, Lotus and Abbott, y'all should come up and have this discussion up here. It's easier than typing. Would be a hell of a lot more interesting. Just saying. Uh, how many pilots say what? Yeah, pilots say the aviation equipment is set up to fly on a flat plane with, and the only difference in that flat plane is just literally a rise in altitude, a hill and inclination, but primarily it's flat. Um, you got another one there, Lotus. There's a lot of crazy shit about them, the flight, and where they go, and shit like that, especially in emergency. There's hundreds of them that I've seen. And see, I'm not making 100% claims either way. You know why? Because I don't know. I know what makes more sense when you stop and think about it, and when you question shit. But yeah, basically, and notice I'm leaking. If the earth is spinning, looks like when a merry-go spinning. You take a merry-go-round and you spin that motherfucker, and you jump up in the air, and I get that you're spinning at the same speed when you jump, but once you go up and that force is not pushing you in that direction, your speed, it may only be that much, but you're not going to land where you was. Just not. I can be riding a motorcycle and jump straight up in the air off that motherfucker, and that motorcycle's going to come out from underneath me. I mean, it just is. All right, let's see about pilots fucking. But first of all, we're going to run through this one here. Destroying flat Earth without using science, part 3. But we're going to listen to this one first. This guy, well, don't make.
Hello everybody, hope you're doing well and thanks for joining us for another video, which today is going to be looking at commercial flight paths. Many flat earthers have stated that plane routes make more sense on a flat earth rather than a globe, and I've actually found some useful tools in Photoshop that should hopefully settle this argument. For example, just the other day, somebody commented on one of my other videos that flight paths on a globe don't make any sense, and they linked a video by Flat Out Truth, saying apparently that would shoot any globe argument down in flames. So let's take a look.
Now let's check out a flight from New York to Moscow, Russia. Okay, now if you look up the flight pattern on Google Maps, it will show you a route leaving New York, going through the tip of Canada, then through the tip of Greenland, then through the tip of Iceland, through Sweden, and then into Moscow. I mean, anybody with common sense knows that the fastest route between A and B is in a straight line, as we see here. I mean, you do not have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. It's common sense. From point A to point B is a straight line that will always be the fastest and shortest route. Now, check out what you have to pass to get from New York to Moscow on a flat Earth map, a straight line. Check this out. The edge of Canada, the edge of Greenland, straight over Iceland, straight over Sweden, and into Moscow. Huh, imagine that. There you go.
Now, there is a slight oversight here in Flat Out Truth's video, which is that he's comparing flight paths of a flat Earth, but not to a globe. He's comparing them to a Mercator map, which is also flat and heavily distorted. Now, he's correct that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and that would make the most sense for a flight, but he's drawing a straight line across a Mercator map. Now, one of the tools in Photoshop that I found actually lets me take a Mercator map and project it as a sphere. So, for example, here is the sun-moon map from timeanddate.com. If I bring this into Photoshop and I go up along the top and select 3D, then come down to New Mesh from Layer and Mesh Preset, it gives me a bunch of different shapes that I can pick. If I pick any of these, it will transform that photo into a 3D shape. For example, I can see what the Earth would look like if it were shaped like a hat. And it allows me to rotate it around in any direction as well. We could even see what the Earth would look like if it were a wine bottle, just for any alcoholics around. But the one we're interested in is sphere, which basically gives us a globe. So we can see how that with the sun sitting on the coast of South America, twilight starts exactly halfway round, just as we would expect on a globe. Although please ignore the shadow that's across South America. That's one that Photoshop is adding in as part of the 3D render, and whenever I try and turn that shadow cast off, the program crashes. But it's obvious that the shadow isn't part of the original image, so we can ignore it. So if I take a Mercator projection and I draw a straight line in green, going directly between New York and Moscow, like Flat Out Truth suggests, and I then add a route that the flight actually takes, and I'll put that as a red line, this goes just south of Greenland, Iceland, and across Scandinavia. But if I then switch the map to a globe projection, we can see that now the red line does in fact form a straight path across the globe, with the green line now becoming a longer route. Funnily enough, at the beginning of the year, I went to New York, and during the flight back to Heathrow, I brought up the flight route on the plane's entertainment system, which showed the route that was being taken around the globe and how it forms a straight flight path. But another argument that flat earthers bring up is Southern Hemisphere flights. A few years ago, there was a very popular claim going around that no flights stayed within the Southern Hemisphere. They always include a stopover in a location in the Northern Hemisphere, which they say on a globe makes no sense, but on a flat Earth it winds up forming a pretty straight line. I did actually cover Southern Hemisphere flights in one of my very early videos, showing there are flights you can get that take you from Australia to South Africa to South America and back to Australia without ever crossing the equator. Recently, Pastor Will Duffy was on Jeranism's channel, and he was bringing up Southern Hemisphere flights to Jeran and Austin Whitsitt as evidence against flat Earth. And he brought up a few good points, and Austin and Jeran tried to counter them. A very good example Will brought up was flights across Australia.
So I'm going to show you here. Here is a flight from Perth to Brisbane. And if we look at what we believe, what the globe people believe is the shape of Australia, we should know that the width is just slightly wider than the max height from top to bottom.
Oh,
so
the
this flight
fuck
right here
on.
was 4 hours and 3 minutes.
Hold on. Navin, did you really just say that? Navin, oh my gosh. Holy fuck. I'll admit, I've never heard of the rhombus line. But Navin here just man, oh my God, Navin. You've literally said that there is a shorter path than a direct straight line of A to B. Now, unless the rhombus line is what they claim a wormhole is, where you take and fold a sheet of paper. You have point A, point B, and you fold them together. All right. But if you're claiming that, you're folding fucking time and space. So, but you sit there and argue on the side of your science from the science books that teach you point A to B, the shortest and most direct way is a straight fucking line. And I ain't going to pretend I understand all the math about wrapping flat shit around. I know you got to cut some of it out and blah, 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 blah. But when it don't make sense, it just don't make sense. Don't mean you're stupid because you question it neither. Keep that in mind. No, the only stupid question is one not asked. So, what's supposed to be special about July the 8th? I missed that. Well, y'all call them stupid there, man. But that's all right. That's what, you know. Which will actually over Alaska to save fuel. No. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I seen a deal on some of that too. And then they say, well, no, we mean the landmass. And that Australia, only part of Australia will be in the darkness or some shit like that. I've seen that too, Lotus. And I've been up in airplanes, okay? And I've been up in helicopters. And yeah. And just the whole rotation, it just don't make sense. I'm sorry, it just don't make sense. It don't make sense. Because you put me in that rotation on the merry-go-round, and that's basically what you're claiming. Everything's on the merry-go-round, or tops. And some of them tops, you know, all them tops are attracted to one another, but they're at the perfect distance where they blah, 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 blah. And if we're hurtling through the vacuums of space, if we're moving the way they say we're moving, how come since supposed recorded history, we've had the same 12 astrological signs in the heavens beyond the firmament? Well, come on, Joko. I'm discussing it. It was about the moon landing being fake as fuck. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm arguing. I'm saying what makes more sense to me, brother. But hell, the link's there. You're welcome. You're always welcome here, brother. Um, um, so you tend to believe that we're on a sphere in rotation through the hurtling through space and all that. Which side do you generally end up on, Joe? To me, it makes more sense. It's flat. And like I said, we've all seen all these different videos. And they each, you know, they each make their point, you know, and some of them skew shit. So
from Perth to Brisbane. And then here's a flight. Here's a flight from Melbourne to Darwin. And it's 3 hours and 55 minutes.
That flights going between the coasts north and south across Australia take pretty much the same amount of time as the flights going between the coasts east and west. And surely that means that the distances north to south are about the same as east to west. But on a flat Earth, Australia is shown on their map as being about 2.5 times wider than it is tall. Now, Jerin and Austin's main rebuttal to this seem to be that the flight times are dependent on the speed of the plane, and planes don't always fly at the exact same speed.
Flights are consistently different times. There is no like specific exact time for flights. And the way that these programs get the supposed speeds that the planes go is they assume the distance and then they look at the time. You're saying that, oh, it's not always 8 minutes. I could literally just Google it right now and I'll find one that is not the same time as these.
Do you know that the computers basically will decide where the planes will fly? Or do you think it's pilots steering the wheel of the plane?
No, computers do almost everything.
Okay, so imagine that I've got two toy cars that I'm starting in New York and I want one to get to San Francisco and one to get to Colorado. Could I program them so that the one gets to Colorado after the one gets to San Francisco? Is that possible?
If you vary the speeds.
Right. So by varying the speeds of planes, you could easily get them where you want them to be at a certain time.
Jerin even highlighting that often when planes are late taking off, they say they'll try and make up the time.
Now tell me, have you ever flown and left late from your flight? You guys are getting on, it's about 30 minutes late, 40 minutes late. Do you get where you're going on time?
Sometimes.
Yeah, so you know why that is? It's because planes can get up to different levels and get to places the computer will make sure they get there on time, even if the plane leaves 40 minutes late.
I think he's perhaps suggesting that pilots are basically instructed to fly at a particular speed that would correlate to what we would expect on a globe. Except that isn't really possible. Now, some of it comes down to economics. Airlines will do things in the most cost-effective manner that they can get away with.
That right there is kind of funny to me. This guy's like, well, he thinks economics would play into Joe, I can't say I've seen. Yeah, I've seen videos that they claim were from the space station. I've seen videos of mice running around on rocket boosters. I've seen videos with air bubbles floating up. I've seen videos where somebody's, 30 foot from a supposed the one I just played that's, doing a spacewalk back when they before the shuttle and shit like that. And I thought, he's tethered and all this, and you can see where they're hanging from. And like I said, and I'm not, like I said, to me, it makes more sense shit being flat than it does round. You know, because you know, you can recreate um, the conditions that they claim that the Earth and the Moon operate under. You can recreate that here on Earth per their formulas, 100%. And but you can't recreate the water on a ball. You can't recreate the supposed tidal lock orbit of the moon. Just in that, how fucking ridiculous is that? That I mean, like I said, I've seen videos of go ahead, Ludus. Um, well, no, I mean, there's that too. The UN, even, most, and there's ancient maps, flat Earth maps of Antarctica, and and it being the well, there's things in the Bible that do address it. Like I said, proof is in perception. Electricity is a theory. And I mean, that's just a fact. So, I mean, I don't know how to put that, for it to be any other way. It's just, it is. Proof is in perception. And, well, like I said, well, no, they're all computer generated CGI. I mean, they've claimed that for years. They had never. No. And like I said, if we're hurling, one of my questions is, if we're riding through the cosmics of space and the way that they claim we are, things like Halley's Comet wouldn't be a thing. The 12 zodiacs wouldn't be a consistent thing. The consistent constellations. And I tend to oh shit. Oh my god, my fucking leg. Oh, I don't. Oh man, sorry. There's hang on, boy, howdy, that hurt. Past. Like I said, there's so many There's another one. That's another one that don't make sense. Um, and I'm not saying that a lot of these scenarios that when they first spit it out to you, they make it make sense. They argue, what they think and the way they think it works or whatever. And fucking, but then they're like that. The North Star is always a North Star. You know, um, no matter where you're at, the direction of it never changes. That don't make sense on a globe. And like I said, we've all seen the the different videos, the pass that proved this, and flat pass that flat pass that disprove this, or one way or another. The pilot saying, "Oh, the Earth is flat. The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat," and in my own experience, just what I can experience with my five senses, suggests to me more that it is flat. And just like in a clock, there's a circuit. And the circuit is what it means. It is a pathway. And the theory of electricity works that way. We have bridge rectifier, full bridge rectifier, blah blah. Anyway, we can do it by the North Star and the sun and the moon and well, I mean, I've been up commercial planes, 10, 20,000 feet. And I mean, really, you know, uh, well, and just like, they claim atmosphere. Atmosphere is some magic cape that keeps the air turbulence, that makes the air rotate in the same direction and all this other shit. The Earth. The gravity and atmosphere or some magic hocus pocus that even though we're spinning at 30,000 miles in there and a fucking orbital linear horizontal vertical level, um, the airspeed around us is not. The atmosphere around us is moving with us instead of us moving through the atmosphere. And global positioning system. Just because they call it a GPS, global. I mean, I could say, well, it's general position system. No, or generic, or gotcha, or God. No, God. I mean, the G could be anything, just because they want to continue the indoctrination of the orb. That's only orbs we're supposed to believe in, is ones that they tell us are there. There's that. And magicians, are are a wonderful fucking example of it. Oh shit! Oh, I'm tired as hell. Anyway, they they tell you what they want you to see by suggestion, and then they present in a physical form, whether it's a quarter out of your nose or out of your ass, or one bit off, or the whatever card trick, you know, uh, and the whole time they're hashtag misdirecting you with one thing or another because they understand the psyche and that you can be programmed. Um, you know, you can be programmed indefinitely if it's done right. Uh, by putting it in a nice little package. Because apparently since recorded history up until the last 100 and some odd years, um, or a couple of 100 years, fucking the Earth was flat. Um, Ludius. Yeah. Um, well, that's like the ancient computer. It took them what 40 years to fucking even get an idea of what it was and how it worked, and I think that's probably what you're talking about. No, so and and all these ancient myths, I believe there's grains of truth. Well, cool, Kevin. See ya. Don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. So, it's troubling to think that trying to have a logical, um, uh, civil conversation about perceptions troubles you so much, and that is, as you say, madness. So be it. That's madness. So, shit does something, that's for sure. Like I said, I don't have all the answers. I have a lot of questions. And what makes sense, and what don't. No, and just because a ball flying through space at 50,000 miles an hour in one direction and rotating uh, 280,000 miles an hour in another direction, and A and X and Y and B and G and do and they. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Uh, well, I mean, um, recreated into a wristwatch. I will say um, I'm terrible. I don't keep keep up with a lot of the um, new updates and shit. But well, and just navigating with a compass and a map. It's not a globe. Special forces, they got a flat map, and you go by declination, inclination, and azimuth. So, Palladium's theory, which is what they used to survey by. So, yeah, it tracks the stars and the seasons. Yeah. So, there's that, and all of that, and all that good shit. And so, just things that makes you go, huh? Well, I mean, there's claims that there's slight shifts in the positioning and the azimuth and inclinations and declinations of where they tend to appear. And that's one of them places that the global phenomenon makes a little more sense. Well, there you go. There's some other stuff that plays into it. And here comes Nevin. There's a dent in there's a chink in your the perception there, Navin. Like I said, there's a chink just um, I see what you said, and not what you meant. I understand what you meant, but I see what you said. Navin's arguing two sides of a point now, and he, she, it, whatever understands that that there is a I just did. Well, really, that there's so many reasons that that it seasons because the spherical Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees relative to the sun. No, it's not. Tilted from what on what household? Do you understand the I know you're making the assumption of axis on its axis, but that still does not fill the gap there. Just that one statement. And well, time is also a perception on that. My perception of time is a lot different than yours. My perception of time, we're going to use jail for instance. In jail, time is a lot slower and a lot longer than my time out of jail. So, anyway, we need to have a nice intermission here. And nah. Go back to the good old days, to the good old days.
I'm upset with them. We got the code right here that says that that's an unlawful ticket.
It's been repeated.
They cannot tell you you cannot have chickens.
We'll call it break time, folks. Anyway, I'll let one of my old ones play in the background. How'd that be? Yeah, I thought we'd do. And take a little break. We'll go from there. So y'all enjoy.
City code does not have a law on, except for saying that they're legal. Huh? Can you explain why you're passing out tickets on a 27-year-old code that has been repealed and ruled unconstitutional by the state constitution, along with the First Amendment of the United States Constitution? You're a tyrant. You're a jackboot piece of shit Nazi tyrant. Ma'am, draw a box around your name. This is right here live in Podo, Oklahoma. 148 people watching. He's illegally extorting money, or trying to, and forcing them into an unlawful contract under threat of arrest. That's the tag number, CI 28192. Are you interested to discuss that with me?
We got the code. We got where it's been repealed right here. We have it pulled up for you.
Officer,
You don't want to educate yourself?
would you like to discuss unlawful ticket? Would you like to discuss unlawful ticket or no? You're not going to speak with me about the ticket and the code that I've got right here that shows that the ticket you wrote me and most likely this woman is unlawful. It is unlawful. The city code says that foul is allowed. Would you like to discuss that? Where are you going, you chicken shit coward? You piece of shit fucking Nazi jackboot. Fuck you. Fuck you.
We apologize.
Ma'am, did he write y'all a ticket for your birds? Is it all right if I come talk to you? I'm upset with them. We got the code right here that says that that's an unlawful ticket.
It's been repealed.
They cannot tell you you cannot have chickens. The city code says them chickens are allowed, and that he don't have any reason to write you a ticket. Well, I will go to the police station with you. I've got a copy of the ticket. We've got right here on this tablet the city code that was revised June 5th of 2017. The ticket he wrote you, is it 5-7A3? Keeping up foul in a certain area? Can I come up and take a picture of it? Is that okay? I won't get a picture of your name or nothing. Violation. It don't even, folks, this is her private information right here. But there's not even a violation wrote down here. He didn't write an ordinance or anything else. April 17th at 8:30 in the morning. Here, I'll turn my camera around. My name is Mike. I'm Alberto's neighbor right across the street. Y'all don't have to move any more birds. They cannot write y'all any more tickets until we go to court. Like I said, my son has a copy of it, and it's hard to find. But if he's writing you for keeping birds, and I will bring our ticket down. It's an unlawful ticket. I've got the new revised code. The code he brought down and wrote me a ticket on was 27 years old. Okay. It was repealed, which means it was overturned in 1990 the first time by laws that were on the books in 1965. Okay. And their own city code today, 5-71, says that the only animals that are excluded are exotic animals, exotic meaning foreign country, that are venomous, that foul, which chickens, ducks, geese, turkey, all of that fall under the word foul, are excluded in that. And excluded means that it don't count, that you can keep them animals. What they're trying to do is violate our First Amendment rights.
Yeah, because my husband was very upset. So why?
Well, we just found out yesterday or the day before. Alberto just said something to my son about that. If we would have known that, we would have been down here earlier. Yeah. My son just come in, and I was fixing to go live on YouTube, because we are live on YouTube, and go over this information I had got, because I just got the code, the real code, not what they're trying to write. And I can show you on my phone here later where all the codes that they're bringing me were outdated and they don't count. Okay. And so they can, next time he comes down here, tell him to get the hell off your property. Y'all need to put out a couple of private property signs and put a little a fence, a baby gate, or something up across the front of your porch. Okay. That way, because if there's something up and you have no trespassing, they can't cross through that gate to knock on your door.
All right, I will do it.
I'm sorry to have bothered you. I hope I didn't scare you or offend you, but I'm tired of them pieces of shit.
Yeah, be good.
Well, folks, fuck Poto PD. David Hope, you piece of shit fucking tyrant. I caught you. I read you the fucking law, and you're such a fucking coward you wouldn't even stop and talk about it. You know why, you piece of shit? Because you know you're fucking wrong. You know you're a jackboot Nazi. Hi, neighbor. See the crawl hole for the cats over there? Yeah, he's probably gonna get pissed off. But that's all right. That's where all the illegal cats run around at. And the motherfucker that wants to cause a stink. All right, folks, I really can't see any comments yet. I was actually fixing to go live. I don't know if y'all heard me reading at 571 on that lady's ticket. I couldn't see where he wrote any offense down at all. I think I scared the fuck out of him, and he didn't fill another one out right. I hope, Fed, I hope you're in here. Let me flip this around. Fed, I hope you're in here. Son, I still need that tablet, please. He's right there. Hey, Jaded. Hey, I appreciate. I hope y'all caught all that. Jaded, it looks like you probably caught most of it. I need your tablet.
It's right here. I don't know if it's pulled up. I couldn't see it.
Did I'm back. Sorry. Oh, here we go now. Oh, God is wrong, huh? Boy, bold claims here and there. Like I said, right. Like I said, there's things that make you go, No. We'll just ask any pilot how often he has to correct for the curvature of the Earth in his altimeter. No. And if I fly against the rotation of the Earth, and my trip around the world should only take, you figure the speed of the Earth rotating under me, and I'm flying into the rotation. That means that my time, that it takes less time to get somewhere. Well, actually, by the speed and the spin and blah, 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 it would be physically impossible to fly in a path against the rotation of the Earth. You'd never go anywhere. You'd still go backwards because they claim that it's spinning at X amount, thousand, whatever the fuck it is. Occam's razor. I don't know who Occam is. Well, Ludus, I hope to get back to one, and well, I've always been about to two. Anyway, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, but I'm open to all kinds of conversations.
and so forth and such as. So I've got everything from storms to cop watches to me going to jail. Yeah, a little bit of everything. And I look forward to getting back to some of my original roots. But right, wrong. Let's do that. Anyway. Anyway, you talking to me, Ludius? Coco Cowboy. I'm not Coco. You know who the cuckoo. Is that what you meant to? You got Cuckoo. So, whatever. Now, see you later, Navin. I really need to get off here. I think I might have got spider bit or something myself. Anyway, I'm let me go see. I thought I don't know. I got a guy that kind of takes care of my page. To be honest with you, and my email is mecowboy2572@gmail.com. Kitty, you got to get down. Kitty, you got to get down. Look here. Get over here. Kitty, come on. Sylvester, come on. All right, I'm going to put you down there. I'm not holding you. You're not sitting up here and scratching my leg up to hell. I guess I could just put that in here, couldn't I? So there's that. So, and that's a lowercase m, not a capital. I thought it, that. But yeah. So, anyway, I think I'm going to end it here. I appreciate everybody that was here, Navin. Like I said, Joe, we may come back to this a little later, but I've got to get some relief. And much love, and don't be a bozo. There's that. So, folks, be blessed.